right
breaking up
now.
now?
Let's try to get it.
Okay.
Let's try to do it. All right, go ahead.
Go quick.
And
Welcome to our outstanding agents and investors nationwide. Today is Thursday, January 5th, 2023, and this is All the Leads Mastermind podcast number 410. Bruce?
all right, you did it. It didn't break up. We're having some technical difficulties on Jim's side, guys. If you're watching and listening to this later, wondering what I'm laughing about, but we got through with no breakup. Thank you guys for joining us. Those of you that are joining live, those that are listening to this on podcast after the fact, we welcome you guys. This is the All the Leads Mastermind podcast and live Zoom session as well. If you are watching us live from YouTube or Facebook, we encourage you guys to share your wins and ask your questions. You can do that by chatting underneath of the video. You can add those questions on chat. We're monitoring. Those will come to our coaches today, and we'll get your questions answered live on the air. If you're with us here on the Zoom session, what we're going to ask you guys to do to engage, share success stories, questions, different things like that is pop your hand up virtually. You do that by going over the bottom of the screen and clicking the reactions button and then raising your hand. Okay. We will call on you when we see your hand raised. Now, be careful in doing that. If you have a question that you want to ask and you click the reactions button, there's also an applause button there. It goes away in a few seconds. We will think that you're clapping your hands for us. It'll puff our egos up a little bit, but we won't call you. If you want a question answered, then you need to click the button that says raise your hand, and then we'll call on you. This is a Q&A call. So we're always happy to pontificate and just ramble on and on and on, but we prefer when people have their hands up and they're asking questions, sharing success stories. If you've never been here before, what we do at All the Leads is we provide not only leads, but a complete marketing, mailing campaign, call training, role plays, just everything to do with working life transition leads. And those typically start with probate, maybe pre-probate, and divorce leads with some other lead sources coming in the near future. That's what we do. If you are looking to expand your listing business or an investor that is looking to expand into some new territories, we encourage you to come check us out at alltheleads.com. With that said, I think we're excited to have you guys here. And I know Tim has an announcement reminder that everyone needs to know about, because we're doing another class in an hour and a half that if you guys aren't part of, you may want to come check out. Tim, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Alyssa, do you perchance have the slide handy? I didn't know you were going to do that. Hang on, we'll pop this up. So we talked a little bit last week about some new strategies for this year, and we're going to be focusing on both strategy and tactics. This is a pretty tactical program that we have here, and we've already got a whole bunch of people that took advantage of this opportunity last week, and we're going to invite you to do it. It's actually going to be at 2:30 today is when we'll start it, but well, it just went away.
2:30 Eastern time. It's up.
It went away on my screen. Where did it go? There it is. No, it won't stay up. I can't get it to stay up. Don't say it. Don't want to hear it. I can't see it, unfortunately.
It's up. Do you want me to go through it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
For some reason, it's popping away on my screen.
If you guys are watching live, you should be able to see it on your screen. Our class today at 2:30 Eastern time is going to be all about how to use pre-probate leads to generate attorney referrals. So you're going to be learning how to bring your pre-probate relationships to your attorneys, and in turn those attorneys into referral machines for your business. A lot of times you have to give to get. Givers gain. There's all sorts of cliches, and they're absolutely all true. We want you guys having the bait that you need to walk into attorney's office and create those strategic relationships that help their business, and in the long run, help your business a lot. So that's the class that we're doing today. For those of you that have not taken advantage of it, if you're a all the leads subscriber, so you don't get any leads from us at all, it's $299. For that, you're getting the class, which is $99 of the $299. You're getting $100 in pre-probate leads, and you're getting $100 worth of probate leads. So what we want to do is combine all those together to create a vertical of your business that targets attorneys and generates a lot of referral opportunities for you. If you're a subscriber, and let's say that you are getting probate leads from us, but not pre-probate leads, it's $199, and we would add $100 of pre-probate leads to your account. If you already have both probate and pre-probate leads in your area, it's just $99. So encourage you guys to go sign up. We are going to kick that class off now in an hour and 20 minutes. So you still have a little bit of time. You're going to have about 30 minutes after this class ends. If you want to sign up, you can also go to alltheleads.com, and then there's a little chat feature. You could also kind of chat your orders in if you want to get started without having to leave the mastermind call that we're on. And then, oh yeah, there's a link to register in the chat. Alyssa just posted a link to register. If you guys are watching this after the fact, so sorry, you may have missed the opportunity to jump into the class. I'm sure we'll do it again at some point, though.
We will, and I appreciate you doing that. I don't know what is going on, and I'm going to actually hop off the call. I wanted to let you get through with that first, then I'm going to hop off and I'll jump back in.
Okay, sounds good. All right, with that said, we do have a hand up. We've got Courtney Rollins. If you would, Courtney, go ahead and unmute yourself and share your question or story or whatever you have.
All right, awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks, Bruce and Tim and everyone for all the value you guys bring. This is really great for folks who are trying to figure out how to dig into this niche but I do have a couple of questions from a lead that I have that I think you maybe help me with. I'm in North Carolina, and the lead is out of state. The young lady is out of state, and she is not the biological granddaughter of the grandfather who, according to her, was creating the will to leave her 3 vehicles and a property, but he passed away recently on the 20th. She went down to the office. Of course, they said she's not a legal heir, and then she would need renunciation letters, which she said the family that are surviving don't want anything to do with the estate. She was going to speak to an attorney, but the one attorney that she spoke with said that she had to pay $350 just to have an hour with him. So I know there's a lot of places I can add value as far as directing her to the right attorney, helping her how to work it. But I would love some more advice on how to, just best prepare her for that referral, or either other things that I can do to continue to add value. Because I think this is going to be, there is real estate involved, of course, but I think it's going to be like maybe a year or so, or even longer play because of trying to keep the equity in there and all involved. I just want to stay involved and learn from this particular lead. And if there's some referrals that come out of that, great. If I can offer some referrals, awesome. But I just want to know, how can I stay involved besides just handing off to an attorney and telling her, hey, you need to get ththese papers here?
What's your greater market area? Which region are you in North Carolina?
I'm in Durham, but she saw me on YouTube. I just been posting the address, but I'm in Durham. She's in Greenville though.
You're going to want to connect with me. I'm in your general area, and I'll get you an attorney that will do this kind of thing for a lot less, and potentially fill any paperwork or petitions out. It's not going to be free, but it probably isn't going to be $350 for an hour either. Right. And the attorney, I'm sure can help in the Greenville area as well, or Greensboro area as well. So, connect with me. I think ultimately you're going to want to potentially facilitate some conversations with the family members. That's one of the first places that I would start, is asking her if it's okay if you get involved in helping facilitate and coordinate some of those conversations. Say it can sometimes be awkward for you to show up and go to biological family and say, hey, don't forget, I get the estate, and say, so I'm here to kind of help coordinate some of those conversations if they're awkward for you. Essentially, you're going to play the role of like a therapist or a counselor in a case like that. Obviously, you're not licensed, so don't present yourself that way. Just tell her that you're there to help coordinate some of those conversations, and document them as well. And then what you're going to want to have happen is you're definitely going to need to loop an empathetic, good-natured, good-willed, and ethical attorney into the mix that's not just chasing the dollar. I don't get upset with attorneys for chasing the dollar, but for a probate attorney, $350 for an hour, that's a little that's a little steep for our area. Yeah. So use your list and definitely start to forge some relationships with attorneys, because a relationship like this is an absolutely amazing place to start. Some attorneys won't even bill until the estate is settled. So use this relationship to start to forge a few of those attorney relationships that you have been thinking about going after.
That'd be great. Appreciate it, Bruce. Thanks.
Coaches, you guys have anything else? Nope. All right. Perfect. Well, I appreciate all the hands up. Thank you guys for jumping in so early. It's nice to have engagement early in the calls. We don't have to fill as much time. So let me go to Paul. Paul, your hand is up. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, Bruce, Happy New Year. Quick question on the pricing for the upcoming seminar / lead credit. I really don't fit either one of those three criteria. I am a subscriber. I get on the calls. I took a break a couple of months ago from the leads. So where does that put me in the price criteria if I were to hop on the call?
Generally, if you don't have any leads at all, it would be $299, because you're getting essentially for that $299, you're getting $100 of probate and $100 of pre-probate. If you do not, if you already have probate or pre-probate leads that you're working, then it's just $99. So we're breaking out that $299 into actual leads as well as training. We just know some people already have their leads, and if you do, it's just $99. If you don't, we'll give you $100 of each one of those types of leads.
Okay, so when I go to sign up, if I'm still working my leads from the last 8 months, I can just tell them that and I can get on for $99.
Yep. You're going to want to have some pre-probate leads included in that mix, because that's what we're heavily using as bait in this approach that we're going to teach.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Paul. Anything else? Nope. All right. Let's go to Nancy. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello there. I just wanted to ask our last questioner, Courtney. He mentioned something about YouTube. I just have never heard of anybody doing YouTube, and maybe it's just my ignorance related to probate leads. So I just was curious what he meant by that.
Let me go ahead and go to Courtney. I think I know what Courtney meant by that, but let me have you unmute yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in the world. I'm just documenting the journey and putting out videos as a way to, I'm thinking about evergreen marketing. I definitely get on the phones, call all the time. But I also want to be able to like nurture a referral type of a lead funnel. And so YouTube and IG and Instagram, all those are like fun ways that I get to just document, record, and put videos out there. And I guess the louder I am, the more people will be able to see it. I'm trying to follow, like all the leads, and just a lot of other folks out there using it as a strategy. So as I learn, I'm like a chapter ahead. As I learn something, I'll record it and put it out. And then, but this lead said, "Hey, I found you on YouTube. I was going through the YouTube University, and I found your video." And so she went to my site, and we connected there. So now
Do you
at this
have a channel name for your YouTube so we could look at it?
Yeah, yes, life and transitions experts, and I may even picked it up from all the leads. It said try to start a community, or that's one way referrals. I'm sure I picked it up from one of these broadcasts here, but it's called Life and Transitions Experts, and so it's just opportunity for me to help promote folks' businesses and learn along the way and build referrals.
And then it's just directed at the probate part of the business, correct? Not anything else related to real estate or.
Well, I am trying to find the audience, but the audience really for me are probate and estate professionals and attorneys and anyone who's helping with big life transitions. So if you're doing insurance or if you're a hauler or a cleaner or anyone who's involved in growing their business that's helping people through their transition. My focus is, the probate, real estate, but I'm sure it'll attract many things. And so, yeah, that's just one opportunity to market, I suppose, and to get the name out there.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that. It's an innovative idea, so I like it.
Oh yeah, hey, it's not my idea. I've just borrowed from these guys right here and everyone else. But yeah, it's success in these clues, and I'm trying to follow those clues. So thank you, though.
I borrowed from other people.
Sure, I want to weigh in on that as well, and that is that everything that you do that can put your face and your presence in front of people, no matter how small it is, how granular it is. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build a groundswell. You're trying to become the focus in your community, whether that's your online community, your local community, print community, anywhere people see and can find things to engage with you in, you want to be there. And doing it in YouTube is a great idea. Making sure that you have your, Google local business stuff done, Nextdoor, any of the various community things that are out there. In every area of the country, there are places you can go list yourself, and you need to be seen everywhere. Anywhere you can go do that. And maybe, certainly focusing on probate is great because that's what we're here about right now. But just like we're doing this, we're focusing on transitions. And through the course of this year, we're going to be significantly more diverse than we were as well. And focusing on transitions, people and things that cause life transitions to happen, because that creates motivated buyers, motivated sellers. And what I mean by the buyer side is that the buyer side, those are the people who are going to buy the services of people that you can attract to co-market with, the people that are the butcher, baker, candlestick maker in your marketplace for things like clean out crews and estate sales and things like that. So it's important to attract them to you as well. You need to be that focal point in your industry. Top of mind anytime anybody thinks about the things that you want to be found in. And it's the small little pieces. If you got 3 sales in the course of a year or 3 listings or anything like that off of a Facebook program, that's a huge return on your investment. Monstrous. And that's really what you want to do. Throw a lot of bread out on the water and watch what bites. So kudos for you for doing that, man. That's a great thing that you did there. That's awesome.
So, I mean, these are the types of things that we discuss on our strategy coaching calls. I remember Courtney came to us not too long ago, and during his orientation call, we kind of talked through what's his background, where's he coming from, how does he want to approach it, and we talked through this, and yeah, these are the types of strategies that we're able to work with you here at ATL through our coaching, and definitely get you pointed into the next steps from where you are.
I love it. Courtney, thank you so much for taking action. That's what it's all about. These concepts, while he gave lots of credit to us, we have to give credit elsewhere. We're not the only people and the first people that have come up with concepts of educating through YouTube and video by any means. Yesterday we had an amazing probate foundations class. Those of you that have never taken that before, you're going to want to join a probate foundations class. We do it once a month, and one of the principles there that we talk about is how there's one way to shortcut yourself to the top of being credible in someone else's mind, and that is to educate, produce content, and educate. If you want to be credible in someone's life, you teach them. And Courtney mentioned he stayed one step ahead. He learned something and he educated on it. And then you go learn something new and you teach on it. And if you do that on YouTube, it's an absolutely spectacular way to build an audience and credibility. So really, really good job, man. I appreciate somebody taking action there. All right, awesome. So what I want to do, I've got a couple of questions that have been chatted in. Christy, you chatted, sent a few questions through chat. Your hand is up, so I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Not yet, though. I'm going to call on you here in just a second. I want to answer two other questions that were sent in through chat a few minutes before yours. And number one was from Joseph. So Joseph Chavez, you said that you don't want to get ahead of the attorney workshop. And this question that you're asking is not something that we're going to cover in the workshop. But you have had an attorney in the past that you worked with that demanded a 20% referral fee, which you paid for several years. And you asked if this was the industry standard. And the answer is absolutely not. It is not the industry standard. It's not even close to the industry standard. However, if you have an attorney that has a license and can legally receive referral fees, you should pay that every time they ask for it. So while it's not the industry standard, if they can legally receive that referral fee, you need to pay it as often as they ask, because that's your way of staying at the top of their list. So I want you to keep doing that as long as it's legal, which means that they also have to have a real estate license. If they do not have a real estate license, then you should probably cut ties with an unethical attorney. So keep that relationship going if they're ethical, though. All right. Next question is Alan had asked if we could kind of give a better definition to what pre-probate leads are. Pre-probate leads are records of decedents, people who've passed away that will likely have to go through probate at some point in the future. Not always. There are areas out there that just provide obituary records. And that's kind of where sometimes a pre-probate may start, but you want to make sure that when you're working a pre-probate lead, that it is someone who probably will at some point in the future have to go through probate. That might be in 3 weeks when they go to the courthouse and file. That might be in 3 years if they procrastinate. That might occasionally be never if they have a trust set up or if most of their assets are beneficiary assets. And a beneficiary asset is an asset with one of the heir's names attached to it that gets to pass directly to the heir without having to go through probate. So a pre-probate lead kind of all starts with a notification of death or a death record. It is not someone who's gone to the courthouse and filed anything yet. We believe that based on their assets that are in their name, that they will end up having to go through probate in the future. And again, when they open probate, depends. If they're on the ball and move quick, could be a week or two. Most people are going to take a few months after they hit a pre-probate list, a few months before they would ever go down to the courthouse and file. So you've got a shortcut when you work your pre-probate leads. All right, hopefully that helps. And if it didn't, Alan, you can chat in any clarification questions that you need me to answer. Christy, could we have you unmute yourself? I know a couple of your questions came in, but I always love hearing your voice and getting some clarification on those. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year. Great.
So I have a client who I've asked questions about on this call before, and you guys have been really helpful getting me to this point. This executor has had a number of hurdles to climb over. We're literally a few days before closing, and the title company put together the final closing statement, and this seller is going to have to actually bring about $4,000 they're estimating right now to the closing table to get this house sold. We avoided a short sale. I was able to get them an offer high enough to cover everything and their closing expenses, but a few liens and things came up during the title search, so we're actually a little short now. The bank is holding because they are in default. The bank is holding on to a check that, unbeknownst to me, they sent $32,000 to the bank, and the bank, refuses to apply it to their principal balance, and also refuses to send it back to them. And these people have no money. So this $4,000 is stopping us from closing and releasing those funds to them and selling the house and closing all this out for them. And I just don't know what to do for them at this point to help them finish this.
A couple of questions. Is the $32,000, have you confirmed that, or is that coming from the seller? Okay, you've confirmed.
No, yeah, I spoke to the bank numerous times myself. I'm an authorized third party. I said, please, can you release this or apply it to the principal, the balance, lower the balance?
Okay.
They said, no, we'll send them the check as soon as you close.
Okay. All right. That's what I was hoping would. It's a lousy situation all the way around, but I was hoping that that money was in the bank's hands. It wasn't just a check that hadn't left the seller's account yet. Is the property in the seller's name, or is it still in the estate?
The property is in the seller's name.
Okay, so there's no funds in the estate to cover the $4,000.
No, I got everything out of the house for them. They said they were going to sell that. I don't think they have. They've really struggled with like each step. So I don't know. Should I appeal to the bank to see if I can get them to apply that somehow? Explain them, what the situation is.
Jim, I'd like if you have any insight to be able to chime in. I'll tell you what I've done in the past on a handful of situations like this. Is I have covered it out of my commission with a promissory note that when they get their money, I get paid back. And I've done that a number of times, and I've been burned twice. Just really shady people that had no intention of paying me back, but I've done it dozens of times. And so that's a way that you can absolutely get them covered, and then just do a promissory note, or you could do a cash advance if there's equity. Well, there's no equity.
No.
So Tim mentioned cash advance on our chat. I don't think that there's enough for a cash advance. You could always look at the cash advance program that we have, but I think I'd do a promissory note and take it out of my commission up front and get it back when they get their $32,000.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to suggest. I don't understand. Why was the 32 grand sent to the bank? To avoid a foreclosure?
So they got a check from insurance, and I think they thought they were helping themselves by doing that, by hey, we'll pay down what we owe to the bank. And instead, like a separate escrow account that's frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than what Bruce said, do they have an attorney that's representing them now? Is it the probate attorney, or do they have a separate attorney? Is the attorney active at all?
They have a real estate attorney, which I referred them to, and he's sort of leaned on me to contact the bank since I already have a third party authorization, but I could certainly ask him to please reach out to see if there's anything he can persuade them on.
You can do that. It's not going to work. I mean, it's very unlikely that that's going to work. I think that this is where it comes off of your commission up front, and then just get something signed that it's going to come back to you normally within a couple of weeks. When escrows are paid out, they'll also get their $32,000, and then pay you back. Is it ideal? No, it's not ideal. But it's gonna get it to closing.
So in your experience, I mean, I just don't understand. Is there a reason why the bank would not apply this to the escrow, considering where the closing is imminent?
Because banks don't always do what is logical. They have internal processes, and they are following checklists, and you don't have anyone that's just thinking out of the box to make deals happen. They're just following their process, their internal process. That's why I've seen people pay partial mortgages before. I've seen all kinds of things where banks hold money and it goes into kind of a slush fund. It's tied to it's not a slush fund, but an extra account. It's tied to the property, but it doesn't come off of the balance. So some of the worst things that you can do as a property owner are pay partial payments. pay extra payments without tagging it and speaking before you send the money in, speaking to someone to make sure it's applied to the proper account or proper balance, because it just gets caught in limbo like this, and they'll get it back, but they'll get it back after closing.
Right.
Bruce,
Okay.
the point I was making, Bruce, about cash advance is cash advance could in fact tie the cash advance to the 32 grand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That-
Okay.
That was my point, and that gets you cash flow right then.
Mhm.
So
What's-
that would be my suggestion, is to run it through the cash advance program and see if they will do an advance against the 32 grand, because that's what they look for. They just need an instrument to make sure that the money's going to be there to repay the cash advance. And if they can get surety that the 32 grand is going to come back at closing, you're golden. They'll give you the money.
If you want to protect yourself, do it that way. If you aren't worried about protecting yourself so much, just take it off of your commission and get the money back. Cash advance is going to cost them a little bit of money in the long run, but the truth is it just depends on the level of protection that you want to provide yourself.
It's your risk mitigation. That's correct.
Yep.
How do I contact or explore that cash advance option for them?
Just go to, or Chrissy, I don't know, are you a current subscriber?
No.
Okay, go on the All the Leads website and go to alltheleads.com/cash advance. Melissa, put the link up, please, in the chat area.
Alyssa just did. Hers was the admin link though. So
Right, I'm always putting it out there incorrectly, but it's in that area. Chrissy, you can look at the link and just fill the form out and you'll be good to go.
Thank you so much.
It's my.alltheleads/cash advance. Okay, awesome. Christy, thanks so much for the question. I always love the complicated ones, especially if I've had experience with it. If you guys ask me something that I've never dealt with before, you might see a deer in the headlights, but you can get around this. All right, let's go to John Cooper. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
There we go. So I got a couple things, I guess, while watching this. A bit easy deal on that commission one. Yeah, it depends on your risk adversity. Your listing agreement says you're due the commission. And so if you get down to it, you take the loss up front and then come back to the court. If it's a court case, you could do a creditor claim. The admin also has the authority to do anything with money in the estate. So if they agree to pay you later and you have that in writing, I agree to pay you later the commission on the sale because we got to get it closed. And you stand in front of the judge, say, I forfeited my commission so this can happen, so they get the money back. I'm sure the judge is going to side on your side if you stand in front of the judge with a commission claim. About the attorney deal. In the state of California, I've given gifts out to attorneys. Hey, thank you, a small gift and this and that, gift cards, or I do Cutco knives here and there, little Cutco knives. I've had attorneys actually send them back with a picture saying, I'm sending this back to you. I cannot receive anything above what I'm getting out of the probate. So an attorney getting a referral fee, especially in California, and they don't disclose it to their client, they'll lose their license from the bar. Not saying do that, but it's a big no-no that they receive commission above than what they're disclosing to their client. You go on the state bar's website and you can see all the people who've been disbarred because of it. And they post it every month, who gets disbarred. A little tidbit for everybody. I went through back the entire years, all the leads. I pulled every single attorney that filed cases. I put them in an Excel spreadsheet. And then sorted by who did what. And I came up with 100 attorneys that have filed more than 3 cases this year. So if you're going after attorneys, it gives you an easy way to go and pick the whales out. Who's most likely to have stuff. My attorney list, I only go after attorneys. I really don't hit the admins as much. One attorney has filed 45 cases this year. So they're on the top of my list now to go after and put in my database.
By this year, do you mean in the last 5 days?
No, sorry, 2022, last year.
Okay.
We're already in 23, sorry. But
Way to go, Bruce. Really smart.
yeah, I'm still in last year. I'm still trying to get stuff done for last year. Right.
Yeah.
So, but just a thought, if you even take a couple months of your data, put those attorneys into a spreadsheet, and then I'm going to do it for my PRs as well. A lot of PRs are fiduciaries in our state. They're private third-party people who are appointed of the state when the family doesn't want to do it. And those will be the people that really target and go after. On average, I'm getting 2 deals per attorney over the year. So if you put 50 on them on your list and you turn them into 8 clients, they're going to end up being, 100 deals a year. So just some thoughts.
Amazing. Guys, that's how you do it. Systemize it, put some structure around your processes, target attorneys. You've got lots of business sitting in your leads list. Your leads list are frequently going to convert 2.5-5% out of a leads list. You want to double that, get attorneys on your list, start getting referrals. So there is no shortage of opportunity for you guys in these niches that we're working. You just have to do the work. It's going to take some process, some dedication. You're going to have to be willing to work at it every day, not just once every 60 days. That's why people quit. And it's one of the reasons why I love this space so much, is because I'll see people pop in and out. You guys just heard from one of our subscribers that's doing the work earlier in Courtney. He's in my market. I love that. Because there's tons of opportunity here, and I can guarantee you that someone like Courtney is probably going to be one of the few people that's doing the work. It hurts us as a company to see people not do what we teach you guys to do. As an agent, as an investor, I know that my competition doesn't matter. There's 40 or 50% of any list is going to end up selling a house in the near future. If I can get 10% of the ones that are going to sell a house, I'm going to have a killer business. And then Courtney can have 10% and someone else can have 10%. And I don't care who fights over the other piece of 10%. Okay. So that's the thing here, guys, is you just have to do the work, because the business is there. The opportunity is there. All right. Let's go to Vince's testimonial. Ken and Paul, I'll call on you guys here in just a second. We had a testimonial come in, and I'd like Jim to unmute himself, please, because you're a little bit more familiar with this. But we had someone that shared some successes over the last year, and we wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm hoping to do a video with this subscriber and let you guys hear it right out of his mouth. But Jim, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us about Vince.
Absolutely. Yeah. Vince is a very humble guy. He was on a mastermind call, I think about 6 months ago. And we briefly interviewed him, and he's willing to come back and do another case study, but he's over on the West Coast of Florida. He's been with us 4 or 5 years, and we seem to get a post from him like every year. At the end of the year, he'll kind of give us his summary of his last year's production. And a couple of things I really respect about Vince. I've had executors in my county I've run into that I've referred to him over there. He gets right on it. When he gets a lead, he doesn't waste any time. He primarily wants to be an investor, but about 3 years ago, I think about 2 years into our program, he was smart enough to get a real estate license because he realized he was missing opportunities. And he does both. I suspect if we ask him, probably about 1/3 of his deals are flips and 2/3 are listings. But he doesn't project what he wants on the client. He really figures out what's best for the client and goes with it. And this testimonial just kind of speaks for itself. He was doing one county. In June, he added a second county, spent a total of $7,100 on leads, received 2,500 leads, closed 6 transactions, GCI of $87,000. So he was nice enough to figure his ROI on what he has spent for leads and marketing. He got a return of 1,225%. And which is, I have to tell you guys, it sounds phenomenal. And we don't mention that a lot on the call, but 3 or 4 years ago, we asked our subscribers to go to the ROI calculator that we had and send us their ROI. And probably not coincidentally, but it ran anywhere from 12 to 1300%, the people that responded. So you don't need to do a lot of deals. I mean, Vince closed 6 out of 2,500 leads and had a 1,200% ROI. And you can see he's kind of humble there. He's, you know, he admits he doesn't. I know from our last call, he mails a few times. He is aggressive at calling back, but you know, he's just scratching the surface. I think he admitted to us in the last call, he called him a few times and then that was it. I think he's getting a lot better now at working on his past leads. And, you know, with that kind of an ROI, it was very humble to say he could do a lot better. So that was a good one. He couldn't be on the call, but we thought that was worth sharing and hopefully inspiring a few of you people who are on the call today. Any comments, Bruce?
Awesome. No, this is really common. 1,200% ROI is just a 12 to 1 ROI return on investment. You spend $1, you make 12. There are a lot of people here who know their numbers inside and out. Let me give you some basics on some of the numbers that I run in my business. So I know personally, and I've run this for other subscribers or helped them run it and come up with slightly different numbers. But personally, a probate deal cost me $424. So I know that every time I spend $424 on a combination of lead costs, marketing costs, cold calling costs, mail, website, different things like that, $424, I get a deal. So the question that I have to ask myself is, how many deals do I want? And I just multiply that by 424, and that tells me how much money I need to spend to generate a certain amount of money. And it usually is over 1,000, a 10 to 1 ROI or 1,000% return on investment. So I spend $1, I make 12. I spend $1, I make 15. It depends on your numbers, but you guys should all know your numbers like that. And I really appreciated getting this from Vince, because you can see what the opportunity here is. Doing small number of transactions, and 6 isn't small, but 6 is not huge, but that's also a smaller amount of effort that went into that as well. Triple, quadruple, 10x that effort, and you're going to get a lot more business. So you just do the work, guys. Do the work. That's what we're kind of theming today, is you do the work.
And Bruce, one thing I didn't even mention, that ATL was by far his best source of business. He not only tracks his overall business, but he tracks each lead source separately. And, you know, he shared that, I guess, for the 4th or 5th consecutive year, ATL's been his best lead source as far as rate of return. And why? Of course, because motivated sellers and less competition. I mean, it's just, it's kind of the basics. So it's inspiring post. We appreciate you, Vince.
Absolutely. And I don't see Cameron on here. Cameron, if you're here, raise your hand as well. I want to call on you. I got a message from another one of our subscribers last week that shared that half of his business came from prospecting people that he didn't know, cold calling, mailing people he didn't know. And half of that business, and this is a producing agent, and half of that business came from probate. So you guys can build huge verticals in your business on these lead sources alone. You want to broaden your perspective and get 10 or 12 different lead sources, go for it. But start with certain niches. And once you have it perfected, then start to add another. All right. Let's go to Ken. Go ahead, Ken, if you would unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yep.
All right,
I got
perfect. Hey, and number one, when is this going to drop? Because I want to listen to John's comments again. I was kind of doing work while he was talking, but that sounded really bad. When's this going to get posted?
It should be live on YouTube straight away.
Immediately? Okay, excellent.
Yeah, I mean, we're streaming it. We're streaming it live now.
Okay. Oh, it is. Okay, fantastic. All right. Hey, so should we talk about wins first?
Yeah, let's hear it. Yes.
All right. Cool. I got very excited about this one. It was my first $1 million listing. We didn't get it under contract at $1 million. It went under contract a few days ago at 757,000. I got 3.5% on that. Buyer's agent's getting 2.5%. So that was also very exciting. I got another property that's going to close in the next 2 days. Got another one that's coming online. We were cleaning out a bunch of cars in the property and doing a bunch of work there. Got a contractor over there to remodel the kitchen, but that's coming online in the next month, I would say. And then I also referred a deal out to another agent. I didn't want to deal with the clients, and I just didn't have the time either. So started building my referral partners on that, because I figure, maybe I'll just take on one deal or two a month and then just refer the rest out. Because there's a lot of work that goes into these transactions. So I think that's more effective, just to be on the prospecting end of it more often and just take the cream off the top, take the bigger deals, the better ones.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Stacking wins on wins.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been in the business for 15 years. So, and I probably need to do some of the processes I'm using to follow up with all the leads with my past clients as well. But when you get into action, you get into more action. So it gets the gears turning. As far as questions, I have the same client that I put the 757 into contract. They have a property I'm looking at buying. It looks to me like if I put 50 grand into the property, I could probably get 65 out of it. I mean, what's the minimum return on investment that you would be looking for? I mean, the market's kind of coming down right now, and I feel like I could get ahead of the market and still get out of there with 60, but I can't see any way the market's gonna descend where I can't get 25 or 30 out. Like, it doesn't seem probable. What kind of spread are you guys looking for on your flip deals?
Jim, you answer first. I think we all kind of have our own formulas. I'll give you guys my formula here in a minute. But Jim, what do you look for? You're on mute.
There you go. Unmuted myself. It's all relative. When I started investing many years ago, before you were born, I was happy with a $5,000 or $10,000 flip. Towards the end of my real estate career, when I was doing so much else, coaching, actively selling, we got pretty spoiled where we didn't touch anything under 50,000, and we had some 100K flips, back then, which were wonderful. So it kind of depends on what else is on your plate, Ken, and how much your time is worth. You seem like you're doing a lot else, but if you're telling me that the potential is there, I think you said the potential is there that you could double your money, but the worst case would be you put in 50 and you make 85. Is that what you were saying?
No. I mean, I think probably 65. 30,
65
profit.
Okay, good. Yeah, I knew you weren't going for the 15 profit. So
no. Yeah, my concern is be conservative and just wait till the bottom of the market and then jump in, or should I, because the market's, it's descending, but it's not descending. It's not like the stock market where it's going to crash immediately. I feel like I can turn this property. I have the contractors in place. I feel like I probably should buy it, but I'm questioning myself. Am I being too conservative, or should I just go for this property? It seems like the margins are big enough.
It depends on how fast.
Go
ahead, Tim.
If you didn't do it, what are you going to do with that money?
I mean, right now I got a bunch of cash sitting in the bank. Actually, I mean that's so.
So I think you're answering your own question. If you feel certain you're going to be able to turn that money in a reasonable amount of time, this is purely a financial decision. You don't want to let money sit that you can invest. If you are confident that you can sell it, you know what you're going to go do. then you should get into the market and do it. It's the business that you're in.
Right.
But the side of that is that, and this is one of the classes that we're going to be getting to later in the year, straight up business management. One of the things that you need to be doing, in addition to what you just said, is take the money that you'd be investing in this and then be very, very careful that you put down how much of your personal time is going to take, and take that time and factor that into that cost and determine what is your cost per hour that you're going to be spending, what's your opportunity cost, and factor that into it, and then make your decision. Don't just make it purely financial. Look at your time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense. Attorneys don't have any problems, right? I mean, basically this property is on the market. We got a cash offer. So the way I'm looking at it is that I would offer my clients the same cash offer minus the commission that they would have spent. So essentially they'll be netting the same amount of money. I mean, does that make sense as an offer and a strategy?
Yep, for sure. For sure. Ken, my formula in general, and when in a market, depending on what your market is doing, if the market's declining, I'm going to adjust this. But generally, I want conservatively to pull 3 times what I'm investing out, or $50,000 minimum. Okay. So if I'm putting 50 in and I'm going to make 50 virtually guaranteed, I'll do it, even though that's just a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay. In a market like this, it's either going to be 3 times. I want to know that I'm going to make 3 times my smaller investments if I'm putting 10 or 20 in. Or if I'm putting 50 in, I probably want to know that I can pull 60, 65. 50 turn in a declining market, 50 turns into $10,000 really fast if the market falls.
And that's what I'm concerned with. Whether to wait it out. Like I said, in a market that's going up, this property is a no-brainer. Even in a market coming down, I feel like it's probably, makes sense. I mean, essentially I pick it up for $282, put 50 into it, profits about 65. Like I said, I feel like the market's not going to fall fast enough to not pull some money out of it.
Yep.
So
how long is it going to take you to turn it? How long will it take that 50 to be totally invested and back on the market?
Probably like 3 to 4 months, I guess, because it's about 5-week turn time to get the probate court to, allow these people to sell the property. I don't want to put any money into it until that's actually happened. And then I would start the rehab. I'd have the contractor in place, get my bids, get my hard money in place. And then
if it's going to take 4 months, I'd want to shoot for 100. If I was going to put 50 in, I'd want to shoot for 100 because we don't know what the market's going to do in 4 months. Might be fine.
Okay, so you're actually leaning to be more conservative, because again, I could just sell it, just tell them, hey, take this cash offer and be done with it, make my $9,000, and play very conservatively. So I'm waffling on what I want to do.
Yeah, if you were able to turn the whole process around and have it back on the market in a month, you're looking at a pretty good margin. It's unlikely you're going to put yourself at risk. But if it's 4 months of being under contract, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in a contract and the market's lost $40,000 in value, you're hurting a little bit.
Yeah, and you think it's conceivable that the market could drop that quickly over that amount of time?
Depends where
you are. Or that much over that amount of time?
Depends where. Yeah, depends on a lot of factors. But I've seen it. I had an agent in one of my offices, and we've got to hurry up. Paul, I'll call on you in just a second. But an agent in one of my offices one time had a $200,000 or $2 million property on a lake, and he put it on the market for $2 million. Well, at that point it was 1.9, and he dropped by 200,000 about 2 months later. But the problem is it was 1.6, and then he dropped by 200 more thousand, and it was 1.4, and he ended up selling for 800,000. Lost 1.2 million chasing the market down. So that's the last thing that you want to find yourself in a situation where you're having to chase the market. It's unlikely that that's going to happen in 4 months, but 4 months is a long time when the market's changing.
Right. It's at the lower end, so unlikely it would drop by those kind of numbers,
Sure.
Or it couldn't drop by those kind of numbers, but you get the point.
Yep.
But all right, but
Yeah.
something to think about.
Make
And
sure
then
it's
lastly, I know,
go ahead.
I know you want to move on, but as far as the probate software that you guys have been talking about, I've been trying to get people to use that, but I haven't had any success. So maybe at the end, you might want to talk about how to pitch that and how to get people engaged in that.
Would that be the cash advance?
No, that actually I've never gotten it. I've got many people to talk to probate cash. No, we're talking about the attorney software that's supposed to kind of condense everything into one place. Or are you not aware of what I'm talking about?
I think he's talking about the new
estate
CRM.
executives, I think it's called. No.
Yeah, no, sorry. Sorry. We can talk about that offline. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but hey, so forgive me, Ken. I need to go to Paul really quickly.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Paul. Unmute yourself, please.
Hey, Bruce, you might want to consult with your office manager that just crawled up on your couch behind you for this one. But the gentleman that was on earlier that said he was able to capture a spreadsheet of all the probate attorneys and how many deals they closed. Where do I get something like that?
Easy. In your probate list. So you just pull your probate list, download the attorney list, and then depending on your state, you can go and actually look up each attorney in certain software. And I don't know, John, there might be something in California where you pulled the attorneys. That depends on the state. And go back and listen to the recording that's over on YouTube or Facebook really quickly. And then we'll send the actual recording out probably by tomorrow. And you can hear what website he gave for California. Each state has its own process where they compile attorneys and track their cases, though. All right, hopefully that helped. Oh, John just chatted it. Okay, hold on one second. You pull the list in all the leads, so you download your attorney list, and then I think you just need to go on Google and start hunting down, seeing if they have how many cases that they have. All right, in the class that we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about a little bit of this as well in the class coming up here in 30 minutes.
Bruce, this is very obvious, but if you're taking the whole year's worth of list, you can see how many times their name showed up. Would tell you how many cases they had if you're getting them all from our leads. So you wouldn't even have to do that second step.
John Cooper's up, and you're muted. We can't hear you. You're actually not on mute, but we can't hear you. There's a website, estateexec.com.
Right.
Okay.
Bruce,
all right.
Talk real quickly about the class. It's after time, bud.
It's after time. All right. And in 30 minutes, we're going to be doing our class. If you want to rethink the way that you're approaching attorneys, come to the class. We're going to teach you how to use probate lists to build your attorney audience, your target attorneys. Go after pre-probates to generate your bait, and then use those people that need attorneys to set more referral relationships with the attorneys where they're also sending business back to you. So again, if you guys want to join that class, you have 30 minutes to call in or chat in on the website or order online. Alyssa just posted the link. It's my.alltheleads.com/training/order.cfm. Oh my gosh, it's a long link. Click the link. All right. So join that class. It's going to be about 45 minutes long. With it, if you don't have pre-probate leads or probate leads, and you buy the full class, you're going to get $100 of historical probate leads to find your attorneys and $100 worth of pre-probate leads to actually go put some action steps into your business. All right. And with that, I will turn it over to Jim.
All right. Well, I started out by welcoming our outstanding agents, and we really did have some outstanding shares some outstanding success stories. And I want to challenge each of you, like I always do, take one of the many great ideas we had on this call, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share your results with the group. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a great week. Talk to you same time next week. Take care.